Hare Krishna. So I'm immensely grateful to all of you for coming and taking part in this event. I have to admit from the very beginning that if it was not for the insistence of Radha Pramod Prabhu, this event would not take place. He consistently and insistently was pushing me into this direction. Otherwise, I'm very happy living in a small village nearby, trying to avoid crowds. But it's our duty to Srila Prabhupada and to his society to share our experience and little knowledge which we have by his mercy. And it's a matter of great joy to see how people enthusiastically take part in such events. So, today will be just a brief introduction. Let's see how brief it will be. For our little retreat. And from tomorrow on, we will be seriously talking and chant japa. Please take your chanting beads for the sessions which we will have. And yes, so we'll start with the topic of this retreat. The particular topic of this retreat is basically I will be talking about the difference between material emotions and spiritual emotions. How to distinguish between between material emotions, spiritual emotions. What is the difference? What is the science? And we will be talking naturally because of this overall topic. We will be talking about the nature of emotions. What is emotion? And the main point which I will try to make during this retreat, during this event, is that to achieve real spiritual experience, to achieve real spiritual emotions, not imitations, not just cheap, very, quick, instant, so-called pseudo-spiritual emotions. To achieve them in a real sense, we need to practice emotions of Sharanagati. Emotions of Sharanagati is like a middle ground between the material emotions, which we all experience and which we all know, and the real spiritual emotions. In between, there is this realm of the of something which is in between. Sharanagati, according to Srila Jiva Goswami, is not the practice of bhakti. It's a doorway to bhakti. It's the entrance into the realm of bhakti. So it's not the practice of bhakti proper, but it is a very important doorway. And before you enter the realm of bhakti, before you enter the kingdom of bhakti, in other words, before you practice Sharanagati, there's no bhakti. If we try to practice bhakti without Sharanagati, before that, we're cheating ourselves. We think externally we are practicing something which may look like bhakti, but bhakti only starts after Sharanagati. And unlike spiritual emotions which we cannot practice, Spiritual emotions should be given to us. It's a gift. They should descend upon us. It's not a matter of rehearsing spiritual emotions. Let's stand in front of the mirror and try to, squeeze out some spiritual emotions. Spiritual emotions you cannot practice. They have to descend upon us. But emotions of Sharanagati you have to practice. In this way, they occupy the intermediate place between the material emotions, which we all know, and real spiritual emotions. And the main point which I will be trying to make, besides explaining the mechanisms of emotions and everything else, is that by the emotions of Sharanagati, we will be able to conquer over material emotions, which is the main obstacle on our path to Krishna. Anxiety, disturbance, all kinds of panic attacks and depressions and all kinds of the wide spectrum of material emotions, stressful emotions, emotions of survival is very detrimental for the practice of bhakti. So we can gradually conquer over or be completely free ourselves from the enslavement of material emotions or stressful emotions by practicing in a very consistent way the emotions of Sharanagati. So that's the overall topic which I will be talking about, how to conquer material emotions and to remove this obstacle on the path of bhakti by practicing Sharanagati. In other words, how to enter the kingdom of bhakti, where everything else is given. Actually, bhakti is a very special thing. It's a sadhana, but it's a very special sadhana. So the sadhana which the sadhya of bhakti, the goal of bhakti, does not depend on the sadhana. So usually sadhana and sadhya are very closely and intimately connected. We practice certain sadhana to achieve a sadhya. But, sadhana of bhakti is not to achieve sadhya. It's not guaranteed that you will achieve sadhya. Anyway, we will talk about this during the seminar, not to complicate you from the very beginning. But in any case, it's very important to enter the kingdom of bhakti. Only then we will be able to, with full assurance and conviction, to say that, yes, I'm practicing bhakti. And for that, Sharanagati, understanding of Sharanagati is important. And therefore, we will chant for the beginning of this seminar and probably before any other lecture which we will have, this first introductory song to Sharanagati of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, where he specifically says that the purpose of descent of Lord Chaitanya is to teach us Sharanagati. He doesn't say to teach us bhakti. He doesn't say to teach us prema. He doesn't say to teach us all these elevated things, because they're just causeless. But he came to teach Sharanagati, this preliminary thing, which is extremely important, which is the foundation for everything else. So that's a little introduction to the introduction of our seminar. And we will start by chanting this beautiful song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Krishna Jivedoya kori Svaparshada sviya dhamma sahabadori Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jivedoya kori Svaparshada sviya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Korodoya Svaparshada sviya dhamma sahabadori Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sahavatare Adyanta Durlabha Prema Kori Bharadana Shikhaya Sharanagati Bhakatera Prana Atyanta Durlabha Prema Dainyatmani Vedan Goptritve Varan Avashya Rakshite Krishna Vishvasa Palan Dainyatmani Vedan Goptritve Varan Avashya Rakshite Krishna Vishvasa Palan Bhakti Anukula Matra Karyera Svikar Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Vajangika Sharanagati Hoi Bejahat Tahara Prarthana Sune Sri Nanda Kumar Sadanga Sharanagati Hoi Bejahat Prarthana Sune Shri Nanda Kumar Rupa sanatana pade Dante trina kori Bhakti Vijnana pore Dohon pada dhuni Rupa sanatana pade Dante trina kori Bhakti Vijnana pore Dohan pada Kandiya kandiya bole Amito adama Shikaye saranagati Korohe utam Kandiya kandiya bole Sharanagati Korohe utam Kandiya kandiya bole Amito adam Shikaya Sharanagati Korohe Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Doya Kori Swaparshada Siya Dhamma Savatori Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna All together again. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare again. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna louder. Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare again. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Doya Kori Swaparshada Sriya Dhamma Sahabatori Shri Krishna Hare Krishna. So in this song, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that Nanda Kumar, the beautiful son of Maharaja Nanda, Krishna in Vrindavan, only hears the prayer which is imbued by the mode of Sharanagati. I don't know about Shiva or Vishnu. They may hear other prayers. Demigods, they don't care too much. Of course, Vishnu is not demigod, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but still he is kind of guna avatar. They don't demand absolute surrender. It's a very interesting thing. Krishna demands it. Krishna wants us to give ourselves to him wholesale. Retail practice will not work. We will not be able to give a little bit to Krishna and break a deal with him. Krishna requires complete surrender. And therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, of course, complete surrender, there may be degrees of surrender still. Within the realm of complete surrender, there may be degrees of surrender. It may sound a little strange, but it is. It's a fact. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he specifically says this, that Krishna will only hear our prayer when this mood of Sharanagati, or surrender, is there. And therefore it's extremely important for us to learn how it is, and this is the topic which we could and should learn. Other more elevated topics, it's not even good tone in Vaishnava circles to discuss elevated topics publicly. And the reason is very important, because this is not a matter of practice. Elevated topics are there for internal nourishment, for eternal development. They may be there, but they're not, this is not a subject matter of practice. But when we talk, especially in this sort of settings like retreat or seminars, we're talking about something which we should practice. And Sharanagati is this particular thing which we should very clearly understand how to practice it, and why should we practice it, and what is the obstacles in practice Sharanagati. So that's the essence. And he says, yes, he says very specifically, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says that Sri Krishna Chaitanya came to give prema, atyanta durlabha prema. Not just ordinary prema. You know, prema was there. Prema is everywhere, you know. You open Ramcharitmanas, prema is there. You open 9 first cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, prema is there. Prahlad Maharaj has prema, Hanuman has prema, Ambarish Maharaj has prema. They all have prema. Sri Krishna Chaitanya came to give Atyanta Durlabha prema, a very special kind of prema. But how he gives this prema? He teaches Sharanagati. Oftentimes we say he just gives, you know, and it's a good selling point. You know, he just gives for free. No, not for free. No, not for free. He gives, but only to those who understand what Sharanagati is and how to do Sharanagati and how to practice Sharanagati. So he gives, but Sharanagati first. Everything else is after that. So, and therefore Bhakti Vijnana Thakur says that he teaches Sharanagati and then gives Atyanta Durlabha Prema. And he mentions the 6 angas of Sharanagati. And he says that before that, before we know what Sharanagati is, who we are Adham. He says about himself, I am Adham, I am the lowest of the men, because I don't know what Sharanagati is. Because before Sharanagati, we maintain our false identity and with everything which is attached to the false identity. And there is a lot of things attached to the false identity. All our habits, all our upbringing, all our karma, all our childhood traumas, it's all inherited with the false ego. And before we conquer our false ego, we will remain Adham because we will be slaves of this material heritage, which we brought from previous lives. And he says, teach me Sharanagati, and in this way make me Uttam. It's very interesting, make me the best. You know, there is practically nothing in between. You're either Adham, lowest, or you're Uttam, the highest. There is nothing in between. There is only 2 possibilities which you can choose from. Either you prefer to remain Uttam, to remain the slave of your karma, to remain the puppet of all these impulses which are there, inherited by us, or you remain Uttam. You completely transcend it. So that's a very interesting sides of bhakti, and we will speak about this again. So this is the topic of our seminar: importance of emotions. And I will speak about this fundamental role of emotions in human life for this introduction, how it is important, because emotions is not a very popular topic, neither in material society nor in spiritual circles. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his emotions personified. He doesn't teach elevated philosophy. He teaches sometimes, but mostly for 18 years, he just experiences emotions. For some time, for 6 years, he was preaching and teaching something. But then 18 years, the best part of his life, the only thing which he was doing day and night without sleep, sleeplessly, he was just experiencing these emotions. To show us that this is the goal, to show us that this is ultimately what we should obtain and achieve. And he gives this definition. This is from Chaitanya Bhagavata. And this definition of what Bhakti Yoga is. Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga Dhan. You can obtain the wealth of Bhakti, or Bhakti Yoga. You can only rightly claim that the wealth of Bhakti is yours if Bhakti e Krishna Nam Smarana Krandan. If just by remembering one Krishna Nam, you start crying. You can only claim that you belong to this amazing culture of Bhakti if this is the condition you are in. And specifically, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, commenting on this verse, he says, why Vrindavan Das Thakur says, Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga Dhan. He says 3 times Bhakti Yoga Dhan. 3 times because first Bhakti Yoga is that you should learn Sambandha Gyan. Second Bhakti Yoga is Abhideya Gyan, or understanding of the practice. And the third Bhakti Yoga refers to Prayojana Gyan, or understanding of our goal. If these 3 are there, and you clearly understand what it is, Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana, then this phenomenon will happen with you. A Krishna Nam, just one Krishna Nam, Smaran. You will not be able even to pronounce it properly. You will start crying. I had a very interesting experience. I once went to one Gaudiya Vaishnava from Gaudiya Math. And he is very famous because he chants 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs of Harinam. And he, a couple of times he came in Kartik, he stayed in Ratakund. And I once went to his village. And in his village, everyone, his village is in Rajasthan, somewhere quite far away from here. In his village, everyone, including 5-year-old kids, chants 64 rounds every day. He himself chants 5 lakhs or 4 lakhs or 6 lakhs, something really. But everyone else in the village chants at least 64 rounds. And I saw all these, girls, teenage girls, walking with chanting beads, and everyone, following his example because he's such an influential figure. And for me, scientifically oriented Western Bhakta, the most important topic was how he manages to chant 6 lakhs a day, and what is the speed and what is the technique of pronouncing it. So that was the most important question in my mind. So after talking with him and, exchanging some pleasantries, I ultimately asked him, can you show me how to chant this 6 lakhs, Let me hear it. I just want to see it. He says, yes, of course. Sure, no problem. And he took his beads and he put his fingers in the chanting bead and he said, Hare Krishna. And then he started crying. And he was crying and crying and crying and crying. And he didn't move after first Hare Krishna. So I was totally frustrated. I said, thank you very much, I understood. That was the end of my darshan with him. Anyway, the point is that Bhakti e Krishna nama smarana krandan. You only can claim that you know something about bhakti if this phenomena take place when you chant Hare Krishna mantra. And we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he taught us by his own example how he was crying by chanting Krishna Nam. And this is the purport by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada to this verse, where he very interestingly says that ultimately our heart should obtain certain quality of softness. The tears is a result of this softening of the heart. And if the heart is soft, then the tears come very easily because that's the manifestation of the soft heart. You know, again, it's not a question of practicing how to cry. It's a question of practicing how to soften the heart so that the heart would come out in the form of the tears. So that's the point. And he says, very specifically here, says that if the heart remains hard, why the heart remains hard? He says there are two reasons why the heart may remain hard. One is you are engaged in mundane argument. You're trying to establish that you're better. You're trying to establish that you are right and everyone else is wrong. This is one manifestation of the very hard, stone-like heart. And another manifestation is the tendency to control. He says, if these two tendencies are there, then it means that the heart is still made of stone, and therefore the tears will not be the common phenomena for such person. And basically, he's talking about ego. This is the manifestation about ego, and we will talk a lot about ego in this seminar. That will be the main topic. This is the quote by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Ecstasy is only available by spiritual intelligence. You know, one thing we say, we have to cry, but Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says how we can come to this stage. And he says, ecstasy is only available by spiritual intelligence. Material nature can give us everlasting happiness, which our heart is searching for. So he basically says that we have to come to this stage by using our material intelligence, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And that's exactly what also Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed. Here we can see his dance, and this is the dance which he showed in Benares when he came to teach Sannyasi Mayavadi. What is the essence of Vedanta? That's the essence of Vedanta in this slide. This is the Vedanta Sar. So the spiritual emotions. So it's not, usually when we talk about emotions, we try to oppose, we say there is intelligence, rational approach, and there is emotional approach. But according to the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, emotions is the highest manifestation of the real intelligence, of spiritual intelligence. So we are not opposed to intelligence, a rational approach, but ultimately we want to achieve this highest manifestation of emotions. And he basically says this to Sannyasi Mayavadi that his guru told him this. He says that, you're murk, you're fool, you cannot really understand anything, therefore just chant and dance and, do something which you are capable to do. And then he said, he gave this verse, beautiful verse from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where he says that actually this is Ishvara Puri, Guru of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who said this. He said that this is the verse, this particular verse is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, this is the verse. Evam bratach svapriya nama kirtya jatanuraga druta chita uchai hasatyatho roditi roti gayatyunmadavan nrityati loka bhya. When a person is actually advanced and takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord, who is very dear to him, he is agitated and loudly chants the holy name. He also laughs, cries, becomes agitated and chants just like a madman, not caring for outsiders. So Ishvara Puri told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that this is the verse, is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the essential message of Srimad Bhagavatam. That this is the stage which we have to come. It's not optional. If we want to understand, if we claim that we understand the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, this is the stage which we should come to when we chant the holy name of the Lord, and we do it without caring for the reactions of other people. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he continues preaching to Mayavadi sannyasi, I firmly believe in these words of my spiritual master, and therefore I always chant the holy name of the Lord, alone and in the association of devotees. That holy name of Lord Krishna sometimes causes me to chant and dance, and therefore I chant and dance. Please do not think that I intentionally do it. I do it automatically. It's a very important point that what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing and teaching, not intentionally, we can do it as a practice, no problem. But ultimately, when we achieve this stage of spiritual life, this chanting and dancing will just become very natural and spontaneous manifestation of the power of the holy name. And this is, it's not that, we have to force ourselves. Once Radhanath Maharaj told a very interesting story. He told that once a very rich American lady came to Vraj. She was the mother of Shyamdas from Vallabha Sampradaya, who became first Western disciple of Vallabha Sampradaya and translated books of Vallabha Sampradaya, wrote books. He was a very good friend of Srila Radhanath Maharaj, and then he passed away unexpectedly. And his mother came here to see what her son was doing. And she was very rich person. She was a congresswoman from America. And she came, and there was this Kartik camp of Bhakti Vijnana Hospital. And they came to the hospital. She came to the hospital. And in this hospital, they just made cataract operation for very old Brijbasi lady who was 90 plus years old. And before that, because of cataract, she couldn't see, and she was crying, and she was saying, please, please, somehow or other help me, because I want to do chapatis for my Radharani. That's my only sorrow, that I cannot do now chapatis for my Radharani. And when they made her see again, she became very joyful. And at this moment, this this American lady, very important and very, proud American lady, she enters in, and this little short, bridge-passing, old woman, 90 plus years old, comes in, and she comes in, and she's like this, and she's dancing and jumping and completely joyful because she was removed from this cataract. And first thing which she does, she comes directly to this American lady, and she comes to her and starts shaking her and says, "Dance, dance, dance." And this lady, she stands there, she doesn't know what to do. And she's bewildered. And this little, old bridge-passing lady, she's very insistent, and she's just pushing her. "Dance, dance, dance, you should dance." And this American lady, she looks at Radhanath Maharaj, whom she knows he knows English, and said, "What should I do?" And he looks at her and says, "You should dance." "What else should you?" And he said, ultimately, she started dancing and rejoicing. And then after that, she said, that was the most profound experience of my whole Braj visit. When I was dancing, instigated by this Brijbasi lady. But in any case, what I want to say is that when you are in this level, as this Brijbasi lady, no matter how old you are, no matter what you are, you will dance. And when you have this big false ego, you will stand there and try to pretend that you're something very important. So that's the point. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, this is Bhagavata Sar, this is the essence of whole Bhagavata philosophy. And it is shown here how all the sannyasis, Mayavadis, initially they were criticizing him and saying that he's doing something wrong, and ultimately they're paying obeisances to him. You can see all these sannyasis, Mayavadis who are surrendered to him. He said that this is purported by Srila Prabhupada, and he says that this is not, that holy name is not the material vibration, that ultimately we have to come to this level when the holy name will dance on our tongue, and because the holy name dances in our tongue, we dance ourselves, not because we force ourselves. We're just dancing, we're just doing the same dance which holy name does on our tongue. On its own, on his own, holy name descends on our tongue. And Srila Prabhupada, very funny, he says, if one chants the holy name of the Lord just to make a show, not knowing the secret of success, he may increase his bile secretion, but he will never attain perfection in chanting of the holy name. So it may have some medicinal effect on you. It may improve your digestion. If you chant the holy name without understanding the real science. So it's good in any case, no problem. You can do it for this sake too, but ultimately you have to understand that there is a great science of how to do it properly, and in this way ultimately achieve the perfection of the chanting of the holy name. And what we can see is that actually, even though people often say that, and this is even Latin name for human species of life, that we are Homo sapiens. And Homo sapiens basically means the rational human being. Actually, it's wrong. We are not Homo sapiens, we are Homo emoticus. we are emotional beings. Because everyone is trying to get some emotional experience. Rationality, plays very little role in our life. If we honestly look in our, heart, and we are emotional. We are essentially emotional, and therefore people are doing all kinds of crazy things. This is very strange stuff which we are seeing here. In America, it's called how it's called? Russia? Yeah, roller coaster. And in Russia, it's called American mountains. Somehow or other they are. Anyway, but people, they just want to experience some emotions. It's really crazy what they're doing, But because it gives them some emotional experience, they're ready to do it. They're ready to do it, And we know sometimes in human culture or in our own experience, sometimes the heart is trying to fight with the brain. Rational part of us is trying to fight with emotional part of us. And our brain, our rational part is telling, I will teach you, and put the heart in the cage. I only want what is best for you. But the heart is saying like this, don't be so hard on yourself. So that's kind of dynamic which is going on in us. And ultimately we have to achieve the purity of the heart to experience the real spiritual emotions. And, sometimes this part of the humanity is very proud being very rational, and this part of humanity is very proud of being very emotional. You can see it this, somehow or other in, it's correct. It's correct. One more. Okay. He is the same and she is different. And he is still the same. Sometimes, people, they kind of neglect emotions and try to say that this is something for low-class people, for simple people. And even in spiritual circles, it's sometimes like this, yes, women, they are sentimental, they should do all the sentimental prayer, and bhakti is for sentimental people. This is exactly what Sannyasi Mayavadis told Lord Chaitanya in Benares. And if you are a real man, you should be like this, should be dried up Buddhist monk or Hare Krishna monk. But in reality, not, as I said, you should be like Lord Chaitanya. So, and very specifically and very interestingly, Lord Chaitanya says that this verse, which we just read, describing the emotional part or emotional achievement of a human being, is the meaning of Vedanta also. He addresses Sannyasi Mayavadi, whose main goal is to study Vedanta, and he says, this is the meaning of Vedanta, this is what I'm doing, this is the explanation of Vedanta Sutra is only good in this. And we belong to this school of Bhakti Vedanta, and Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Jiva Goswami, they explain the philosophy of these divine sentiments. How the emotions can be divine, how the emotions not can be divine, should be divine, how the emotions should ultimately be the highest manifestation of the spiritual development of a human being. And they created, Srila Rupa Goswami, he created this philosophical school of Bhakti Vedanta. Srila Jiva Goswami gave it the ultimate form, ultimate shape. And of course, one Bhaktivedanta Swami, he brought it to the West, explaining the same essence, explaining the same, that this is the essence of Vedanta. Here's the Vedanta. And we can ask, this question, it's very legitimate to ask where Vedanta Sutra speaks about emotions. If you open the book Vedanta Sutra, you probably will not find too many emotions there. Is it a legitimate claim? Is it the proper claim by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or is it just some sort of preaching technique? Sometimes devotees, they say, this is preaching technique. And we may say, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he used this technique by speaking with sannyasi Mayavadis. No, it's not. Listen very attentively, because it's an important point. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, what is Vedanta Sutra? Sarva Sutre, Sambandha Videya Prayojana Nam 18 Artha, Sarva Sutre Pariyavasan. So in every sutra of Vedanta Sutra, there is these 3 points. Sambandha Videya Prayojana. So this is the 3 topics which systematically are being explained in Vedanta Sutra. And, if we explain this in slightly different way, maybe not in a very usual way, when we explain these 3 terms, Sambandha, which is relationship or context, Abhideya, which can be understood as the meaning. Abhideya literally means meaning. We usually translate Abhideya as practice, but the literal meaning of the word Abhideya is meaning. And Prayojana means goals, what we want to achieve. So it very closely corresponds to this Sat, Chit and Ananda, the composition of the soul. Our soul, we know, has 3 elements. Sat means existence, and existence means the context. Existence means relationship. Existence, if we study existence impartially, we will be able to see that the essence of existence is all kinds of relationship and the context. And while studying the context, while understanding the context of reality, reality is interconnected. Reality very intricately interconnected. If we understand the reality, the intricacies of reality, the interconnections of reality, we can understand the meaning of reality. And by understanding the meaning of reality, what reality wants to say to us, we come to this aspect of Chit. Chit basically means meaning, Chit means consciousness. We see the reality and we try to understand the bigger picture of reality, that's Sambandha. And that's Sambandha Gyan, which is explained in Bhakti Shastras. Then by seeing the reality, understanding the reality, we make sense of reality. We understand the meaning of reality, and that's Abhideya. And then when we understand the meaning of reality, we can set the proper goals. And proper goals, they correspond to Ananda. And Ananda means emotional enjoyment. So we have to be very clear. If Vedanta Sutra speaks about 3 things, Vedanta Sutra also speaks about emotions. Because Ananda is there. Ananda is included into Prayojana. Prayojana means the goal, the proper goal. If we understand the meaning of reality, if we first understand the reality as it is, and then understand the meaning for us into reality, then we will be able to achieve the goal. And the goal of every human endeavor is happiness, and happiness basically means emotions. So this is how in Vedanta Sutra the emotions are being explained. That this is the gradual process, and I will speak little more. There's not much to say for today, but I just want to establish certain foundation for our seminar. So basically, I already explained this. And, this is how we enter into relationship with the reality. We can see it, like this little girl, and then we understand the meaning of it, and ultimately we enjoy it. So this is Sat, and then Chit, and then Ananda. This is my little commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So basically, and this is another very important point which we should also understand, that emotions are also push on into actions. And therefore, emotions intricately connected with the goals. Emotions impel us to do some actions, and therefore goals are included there. So, and when we achieve our goal, it usually brings about the, overwhelming emotions. We can see it in this picture. This is the football or soccer, team, and what they do in football, they should achieve what? Goal, right? And when they ultimately achieve goal, they experience Ananda. This is how how goal and Ananda connected with each other. You can see, goal means Ananda. When we achieve our goal, then we feel happiness. And this prayojana means basically happiness. Prayojana means goal, prayojana means achieving happiness, prayojana means Ananda. But then we will have to ask very important question. This is initial foundational question for our whole seminar. Why some people experience great emotion while chanting the holy name and other people remain bored or completely indifferent? Does it refer to somebody of you? To be politically correct, I didn't put pictures of devotees here. So that nobody would blame me. But very easily you can make a secret photos of devotees chanting. And this is a junior devotee, and this is a senior devotee. What they experience. So, if the holy name is there, if the emotions are there in the holy name, if it's already there, why some people don't, why many people don't really experience it? And the answer is in this verse from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, a very interesting verse and very famous verse, Malana Mashanir Nrinam Naravara, Strinam Smaro Murtiman, Gopanam Swajano Satam Kshiti Bhujam, Shasta Swapitro Shishuhu Mrityurboja Pater Virata Vidushan Tattvam Param Yoginam Vrishninam Paradevate Dividitu Rangam Gatah Sagrajaha. So basically it is said that how different people related to Krishna. This is the verse which describes 10 different relationships to Krishna, which were experienced by different people when Krishna entered into the arena of Kamsa and started fighting with all these Chanura and Mushtika, all these wrestlers. And different people were looking in the audience and they were seeing Krishna completely differently according to the nature of their ego. What this verse very interestingly and very importantly for us describes, this verse describes that our relationship, our emotional relationship with Krishna depends on the form of our ego. It is said here that, it is the explanation of this. Malana Mashanir Nrinam Naravara Strinam. Strinam ladies, they were looking at Krishna and they were saying, he is the best of men. Naravara. And for Gopanam Svajano, for Gopas who were there in the audience, he was his relative, and Shatamkshiti Bhujam, and for the kings, he was very, for impious rulers, he was a chastiser. His parents and as their child, Svashishu, and the king of Bhojas as death personified. Mrityur Bhoja Pater, this is for Kamsa. And for some unintelligent people. In any case, depending on who you are, who you think you are, depending on your ego, you will experience different emotions. And basically, the purport of this verse is that there are different emotions which were experienced at the same time by different people looking at the same Krishna. The experience was different. Somebody was experiencing fury. He was very angry. That was wrestlers. Somebody was completely amazed, wonder. Women were experiencing conjugal attraction. Somebody was laughing, the friends of Krishna, they were laughing at him and at the wrestlers. They were already, knowing that Krishna will become victorious. And the kings wanted to fight with him. So all these different emotions were experienced according to the ego of people. So what I want to say before we end, I only have a couple of more slides to explain, is that initially when the prostitute came to Haridas Thakur, she had a particular form of ego, and she was sitting there and listening to the sound of the holy name, and she was not moved. But then some miracle happened on the third night. She was still listening, she was still was trying to seduce him, and she was still hoping that she will be successful at the end of the day, or at the end of the night, actually. That she will achieve her goal and become very victorious. But then what happened with her, she entered into some spiritual connection with Haridas Thakur. Before, when she was viewing herself separate, she was hearing the same sound of the holy name, and she was not moved. But a certain process was taking place in her heart, the process of the change of ego. And therefore, at the end, when she, ultimately realized who she is, and her ego was purified by the sound coming from the lotus lips of Haridas Thakur, she realized something, and she started chanting the holy name, many lakhs, she became a sadhvi. So that's basically the process. And perhaps you read, I think many of you read that transcribed conversation between Sachinand Maharaj and Vinod Bihari Baba. This Kartik, at the end of Kartik, Sachinand Maharaj went to Vinod Bihari Baba and had some conversation. And his question was interesting. He said, basically, he asked, speaking about the seventh verse of Upadeshamrita, where it is said, Syatnama Rupa Charitadi Sitapya Vinya Pitopatapta Rasanasya Narachikano Kintvadaratanuddinam Kalusaiva Justa Sadvikramad. So he said that in this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami says, Kintu Adarat Kalu Saiva Justa, if Kanudinam Kalu Saiva Justa, if every day you chant the holy name with respect, then you will be able to get rid of this disease of avidya, which prevents you from experiencing the taste of the holy name. So the disease of avidya is there. The intermediate stage is chanting with with respect. So initial question which Sachinanda Maharaj asked, how to chant with this respect? What does it mean to chant with respect? What does it mean in practical terms? What does it mean for us to chant every day the holy name with respect? The answer which Vinod Bihari Baba gave was very interesting, extremely interesting. He says that to chant with respect, with this other, you have to very clearly understand what is your goal. Unless you understand what is your goal, unless you really deeply in the heart understand that I want this, I want to achieve this, this is my goal, this is the goal which I want to achieve, you will not be able to chant with respect. You will chant mechanically, you will chant neglectfully, you will chant ultimately with apparatus. He said very interesting things. He said first what has to take place, prayojana bodha, which means awakening of the goal within your heart. What happened with us, we hear about the goal, that the goal is ultimately Krishna Prem. But hearing is one thing. Awakening the goal within our heart is completely different thing. Hearing, you may hear. You may accept it theoretically. Yes, I want it. Yes, not bad. But it doesn't mean that this goal has become your goal. So, and the goal, where it's coming from, the goal is coming from, when it becomes our goal, then we will be able to chant with respect every day without apparatus, and very quickly we will achieve the taste. So that's the point which I will be talking. What prevents us to think or to really realize that this is our goal, and how to really achieve this state of prayojana bodha. And basically Vinod Bihari Baba says, when this is your goal and you chant that you really want to achieve this goal, then the existential anxiety will take over you. Vyakulta. Vyakulta means you will be in this anxiety. Why it's not coming for me? I want to achieve it. I want to achieve it. And this emotional state, which is actually the emotions of Sharanagati, is the bridge between our conditioned stage and the spiritual status which we want to achieve. So that's the logic of the seminar which I want to see. So the awakening of the goal should take place. And for that, the emotions of Sharanagati are very necessary, and therefore, Anukulyasya sankalpah pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishyatiti vishvaso goptritve varanam tatha atmanikshepa karpanye sadvidha Sharanagatihi. I'm sure you all know this verse, which explains 6 angas of Sharanagati. We will repeat this verse again and again and again, and ideally everyone should know this verse. And these emotions of Sharanagati, they are like fuel. You know, if we want that our consciousness would be like this rocket, for rocket, the most difficult part is to overcome the gravitation force of the Earth. And therefore, it needs a lot of fuel to overcome this gravitational force. And that's exactly what we will try to understand, how these emotions of Sharanagati will become the fuel within our heart, which will, by using this fuel, the energy of this emotion, because emotions means energy. Emotions, it's a very, energetically surcharged thing in us. How by experiencing these emotions, we will be able to ultimately come out from the attraction of this material world and feel the attraction of Krishna, to overcome this gravitational force which keeps us being attached to this world. So, and basically, even, starting today, you can start chanting with these emotions of Sharanagati, whatever you understand by this. Anukulyasya sankalpah pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishyatiti vishvaso goptritve varanam tatha atmanikshepa karpanye sadvidha Sharanagatihi. Please try to meditate on these words. Anukulyasya sankalpah pratikulyasya varjanam, this solemn vow, I will only do whatever is necessary, whatever is pleasing to Krishna. I will reject everything which is displeasing to him. I will always remember that he protects me, and I will always be grateful to him and dependent on him, because he is the one who maintains me. And I will always remain humble, and I will always give everything which I have to him. If we understand the emotional content of this, and we will have plenty of opportunity during this 2 days, 3 days, which we still have to practice it, then, but even before that, we can have some idea what it means. Then this chanting can be different. Then we come to this stage which Kintvadarat Anudinam Kaloshaiva Jushta. And Swadvikramat, gradually, Swadvikramat, the taste of the holy name will come, and Tadgada Mulahantri, and the disease of avidya will be uprooted completely from our heart. So that's a little introduction. I'm sorry for being so long. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.